right, so this right here is for the boys. You already know what's good. I want to say that a lot of guys think that talking to women is about having the perfect line, and it's not. You don't have to have the perfect story. You don't have to have the perfect response. The truth is not about saying more. It's not about doing more. It's about saying and doing less, but meaning all of it. Let me explain. In this video, I'm going to break down how to attract women without having to try and talk their ears off, using your presence, your energy, your masculinity, your God-given things, and silence as one of your greatest tools. So let's be honest. I've been there myself a couple of times, probably a lot of times. Over talking, over sharing, especially when you first meet somebody. A lot of guys talk too much around women because they're trying to show their personality, show their character, be funny, be charismatic, like they want to attract their attention or say the right thing to impress them or get them to think of them in some way. Or sometimes it happens because you're nervous and you start trying to fill the silences with something. But here's the thing. If you always try to fill that space, you don't leave any room for her to be curious. You don't leave room for her to ask questions. You don't leave room for mystery. You don't leave a bunch of room for her to want to get to know you more. If you talk the whole time or you start trying to tell jokes and then you start trying to talk about yourself, it's like she now knows your sense of humor. She now knows whether she thinks you're funny or not. She now knows about you, and she knows how you handle yourself when you meet new people and in new situations and settings. Because you keep talking, and the things you keep talking about, you're pretty much saying, here's everything about me. I hope that you like it. Don't do that. That energy right there kills the attraction. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say this. One time I was out, right? And maybe I don't know. I always give myself the fact that maybe it's just me or maybe I'm doing or thinking too much. But I was out at a day party, right? And it was at this rooftop like lounge bar, whatever you want to call it. I don't look at it as a bar. It had two bars, but rooftop party, all white bikinis, because it was a pool there and there was a model call, right? So there was this woman who asked me, it was honestly kind of weird, but it was a BOK woman. We're in downtown North Hollywood or something like that. And long story short, someone said something to her, made her slightly uncomfortable. She had been in her bikini because earlier she was modeling, and she was like, yo, I'm trying to walk away. Walk with me to the bathroom real quick, while this dude had been talking in her ear. You feel me? And so I'm like, all right, whatever. And after that, I left her to change her clothes when she came into the bathroom. And so when I get ready to leave, I see her at the bar, and I'm just like saying a little bye, right? And there's this dude like smiling, dog, looking her up and down like, yeah, and I just started doing X, Y, and Z, and my business is like this. And I can't remember the specifics of what he was saying, but in the like 60 seconds of earshot that I did get, all he was talking about was his business, his success, and the money that he makes and how he gets it. And not to say not to be proud of it, but this is how I even got invited into the conversation. I seen her, I looked over, she was like listening, and then she looked over at me and we locked eyes real quick. And I was just like, oh, let me go say bye. And as I walked closer, I was like, all right, it was good to meet you. I hope you're good. And she looked like this again and then looked back at me and was like, wait, and asked for my contact info. And so from the fact that she went like this and looked over, I was like, she might like the fact he gets money, but she does not like this conversation. This is not an enjoyable conversation for this rooftop party right now. Like I doubt highly she just walked up to him and said, how do you get money? She might have. I don't know. I don't know her like that. All I know is that what I heard and what was on her face was telling me to never be him. And one thing about me, I never lead with what I do in most situations, most scenarios. Like I've had women come with me to the studio and be like, I didn't even know you had a studio. But yeah, because we didn't meet in a music context. Like I've had other women. There was this woman I was dating. I'm a professional actor. One day we were on the phone after knowing each other for like 5 months. She looked at my IMDb and was like, oh, wow. So you've been at this for a while. And I was like, yeah, like I told you, my agent is sending me auditions. I don't need to put an image of myself in your head for you to know who I am. I need you to see the person in front of you and respect what I'm bringing to you on a daily basis. Because any amount of accolades or money can be gone like that. As long as I'm alive, you're going to have to deal with my character and my mindset. That's how I think about it. And so this is why saying less can be powerful, right? It gives you more presence. It gives you more depth if you give other people the room to talk about other things that are interesting to them. And women are attracted to the energy. So if you show up and you have an open energy and you show that you're able to talk, but you're not pressed for conversation, it's interesting because I know you're not shy. So why aren't you saying anything? What are you thinking about? And it shows that you're grounded, you're calm, you're not nervous, you don't feel the need to get the energy out or to show people that you're there, especially if you're able to make eye contact, keep a relaxed body language, and speak slow and with intention. If you speak with intention and you're not like hurriedly answering and haha rushing and saying stuff like that and haha laughing in between, it shows that you're grounded and you mean what you say. So how to actually apply this and how to speak with impact, right? One cheat code is ask a question, then shut up. Let her talk. If she goes silent, but oh, you got to think about it, and then give her the room to think about it. You feel me? I look at her response, the way her face moves. Make eye contact after asking the question that shows your actual intention and getting an answer. A lot of guys will ask a girl a question and then immediately talk about whatever she said back because they were just looking for something else to say. But oh, so what do you like? And she was like, oh, I really like. So, oh, that's funny. I like those too. No, dog. Ask her. So before you moved out here, before you live where you live now, where did you think you would always be? And when she says it, be like, interesting. And she might, oh, is it interesting? She'll probably say, what about you? Or she'll tell you why she thought it was interesting. You'll get to tell your part of it after hearing hers. Or you can listen and then say, well, another part of the reason why I asked is because of this. And that shows two things. You're a good listener because you let her speak. You are able to maintain the whole conversation in your mind and not forget what you had to say. Win-win. All right. And then the second thing you want to do is speak in statements, right? Not in stories. Instead of rambling on and trying to remember the details. I used to live in Atlanta and then I moved here because of blah, blah, blah. Try. I used to live in Atlanta. Good energy out there. Now she can either say, why do you feel that way? She can ask you, what did you like about being out there? She can agree or disagree. But if you say, I used to live in Atlanta and now I live out here, and then you continue, or you say, I used to live in Atlanta and these are all the things that I liked about it, you're flooding her with so much information and stimuli. All she's trying to do is keep up with what you're telling her and remember it all, or she's not listening because it's too much. Like one of the two. Either way, you're taking all of the attention and all of the energy and putting it on yourself. Where if you actually want to have her interested in you, she needs to feel as if you're interested in her. And the way you build that interest is by giving her the floor to speak. I'm gonna tell you this is what I feel like is one of my cheat codes when it comes to talking to women I'm interested in. Every single one for the last 3-4 years has just said, you're so easy to talk to. Wow, you're really good at talking to people. You're a really good listener. Giving them the floor to speak about and explore themselves, where they will say something and then you ask them a question, or you'll say something and then you listen for how they feel about it, because sometimes they haven't even asked themselves that question. Oh, you like that? Why? What is it about that thing? Who's somebody that inspired you to do it? What are some of your favorites? Just being able to give them the space to explore. They love it. All right. Number 3, don't be afraid of silence. It's okay if there's a dull moment. It's okay if there's a pause. Like, you don't have to talk every single second. If there's a pause, sip your drink, make eye contact, smile. What are you smiling at? Nothing. I just like being here with you. Off the top, I literally just said it to myself and was like, why would I say that? Or what would I say back to that? You feel me? That was not pre-planned. You're like, why are you looking at me like that? I didn't even realize I was looking at you any type of way. Describe it to me. So now she has to pay more attention to you and then give you words for how she's thinking of you right now. Like, come on, guys. It's actually way easier than you let it be if you leave yourself alone and just let her do the work for you. Because if you're interested in her and you get to the conversation part of it and she's actually giving you feedback, energy back, eye contact back, she's interested in you, at least a little bit. So see where that can go if you let her explore it instead of you exploring it. A lot of women are very used to guys overcompensating and overleading things and over talking and over explaining to show and prove who they are, or to get them to feel some type of way about them. So if you do the opposite, regardless of how she feels about you, you're going to stand out from the rest of the men. Silence doesn't have to be awkward unless you make it awkward. Someone who's able to sit comfortably in silence is someone who is powerful because they're comfortable. Once you're able to become comfortable, you won't be moved, you won't be swayed, you won't be acting out of character because you're fine with how you're showing up as you. You're not performing. You're not desperate for attention. You're not looking for affection. You're here. And when you behave that way, it's felt before you even say anything, because you're not moving in a rush. You're not looking for anything. You're just there, and then you're just there. I don't know why I was holding that cup for so long. What's it even look like? I was drinking some mushroom coffee and I'm pouring water in the same cup. So if you're trying to be more attractive, stop over explaining, stop trying to be impressive, say less, mean more, and just leave more space. Leave space for her to fill it out. If it's quiet, let her fill in the space. See what she's thinking about, right? If she asks you why you're not talking, say you're interested in what she might have to say. You didn't want to overtalk. I've even said that sometimes. I remember I was on a first date with a woman and I stopped talking for a second and she said, "Why did you get quiet?" And I said, "I wanted to make sure I wasn't talking too much. I know I can, and I just want to make sure that you here too. You talk. I don't want to talk no more." I didn't say any of it in that manner. Like, I kind of just, oh, notice, my bad. I don't want to overtalk, and you here too. So I want to hear what you got to say. She's, oh, thank you for giving me the space to speak, but I don't really have anything to say. I'm enjoying hearing you talk. All right, cool. You feel me? And so just the fact that I wasn't overrunning the conversation, she noted it, she pointed it out, and then we decided how, I don't know. I just think it gives a beauty, it gives another element if you're not always looking to fill the conversation. And for me personally, I hate when people won't stop talking sometimes. Like, you don't have to fill every second. Like, or look out the window and you start saying something about it, or you start remembering, like, I don't know. My brain just works differently, I feel like, because I've been asked about why am I quiet. But the older I get, the more that I realize it's low-key a superpower, especially when you actually want to get to know somebody and to build rapport with them. And it's just leaving the space for them to talk. And if you ask questions and don't say anything, they'll talk more. And then you'll get to see more of how their mind works, right? And then they'll ask you different questions because you have their mind working. So now they want to know how you feel about what they're saying, or how do you feel about the topic? Like, I don't know, just try it out. And I promise it'll work. If it doesn't work, you come and cuss me out in the comments. It's fine. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to say this. A woman's not going to remember everything that you said, but she will remember how she felt in that conversation. So if she felt as if you wouldn't shut up, or you were an attention hog, or you were desperate because you kept talking about yourself, or about what you've accomplished, or about what you do, or if you talk about your past, if you keep talking about your past, she's going to assume that you're caught up in the past. I don't want to hear about your exes. I don't want to hear about your failures. If you're talking about your failures, then where are your wins? Like, so stop oversharing. Stop trying to display everything about yourself. Just have conversations with whatever is going on in front of you and what it is that she's giving you. Because another thing is, women, once they get comfortable, will talk. So you can gauge how comfortable she is with you by whether or not she's talking first. If you never even give her the chance to start the conversation, you can't even gauge her level of comfortability, because you're giving her work to do, which is to respond to you. If you're doing nothing and now she's trying to get your responses, that means she wants to talk to you, dog. And I'm not trying to say this in a way of playing games. It's just in making sure that you're not overdoing anything with someone who doesn't care, right? Or that you're not overstepping the give and take of an interaction with another person, especially if it's someone you're actually attracted to and you want to get to know. Give them the opportunity to share themselves with you and what they want to talk about. And once you stop talking as much, you force yourself to have to be grounded in the experience, and she gets a chance to feel your presence and not just hear paragraphs. You can connect non-verbally, dog. Eye contact, the tension that's built in the conversation. You ever start talking to somebody and you realize, like, you lean in a little bit, or like y'all go to laugh and the laugh is in sync and one person sways forward, the other person sways back, you feel me? Or like you both lean in at the same time. You build those moments with presence and without trying to talk over them, right? It's your boy Diesel. This is Do It For The Boys. I'm here for the fellas. This is for y'all. If you think that I was on to something, I'm dropping some gems, go ahead, put a fire emoji in the comments and tag someone who talks too much, or someone who's always overdoing it with the conversation, someone who be talking to Shawty's ears off. Like, let them hear this. New videos every week. Go ahead, subscribe for more clarity. We're going to be working on our confidence. We're going to be working on our presence. We're going to be working on our mindset. We're just going to be working on becoming overall better versions of the men we want to be, right? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's your boy Diesel signing off.